Here's the deal, when the top-tier hitman took a shot at the president, he purposefully fired into the wall. See, by factoring in the windmill's direction and rotation speed, he could calculate the bullet's deflection. After dialing in the adjustments, he lined up the sights again and let another round fly, this time, dead center. All he had to do was hold his breath, wait for the president to step into view, pull trigger, and boom, game over. The security detail whipped out binoculars pronto, but the hitman kept his sniper rifle up, letting the scope catch the light to make sure they spotted him. Once he knew he was burned, he stuffed the rifle into a suitcase, planted a timed explosive, and strolled out cool as a cucumber. Blowing up the room was the perfect smokescreen to cover his tracks. On the way out, he tripped the alarm to draw every cop in the area, then hopped into a prepped getaway car and split from the hotel. But wait, when a fleet of squad cars rolled up, the hitman smirked and drove right back into the parking garage. See, his real escape ride was stashed there. By switching vehicles, even if the first car got caught on camera, the cops wouldn't trace him. When the SWAT team stormed the room, they walked straight into his bomb trap. The blast obliterated all fingerprints, and his decoy car went up in flames too, wiping out every trace. Dude vanished like a ghost, except he didn't count on the out-of-town checkpoint being tripled in security. Every car got a once-over, and even disguised as a lawyer, he got pulled over. Cops told him to pop the trunk, and sure enough, they found the case. But here's the kicker, after searching, they said, all good, and let him go. Why? The sniper rifle wasn't just tossed in the case, he disassembled it and modified it into the case's parts. The handle? Assembles into a scope. The inner frame? Becomes the rifle's body. The zipper pull? That's the trigger. Even the wheels hold 4 bullets. This setup was so slick, not even a pro could spot the weapon. Back at the precinct, the team went ballistic when they realized the shot was fired from 3,815 meters out, the world record's only 3,540. This hitman's a legit prodigy. Lucky for them, Detective Haymeza equals genius investigator. Scanning the security footage, she clocked a dude in full gear dragging a suitcase 2 minutes and 52 seconds after the shooting. Pausing the feed, she used a nearby car to gauge his height and the suitcase's size, 60 centimeters tall, but a sniper barrel needs at least a meter. So he must have modified the rifle to fit. That narrows it down. Only a few weaponsmiths can build a rifle that's ultra-long range and able disassemblable. Following that lead, they'll track him down. Meanwhile, the hitman's already left the UK, taking public transport to cover his tracks, clueless he's about to get burned. He rolls up to his suburban mansion, stashes the gear, and finally cracks a smile when he sees his wife, who thinks he's just back from a business trip. In his room, he logs onto the dark web to collect the $3.75 million final payment from his client. After waiting forever, the client hits him with 2 cold words. The hitman's hand shakes with rage, no one's ever stiffed him before. He lets out a dark chuckle, practically sentencing the client to death right then and there.
Here's the lowdown. This top-tier hitman about the German president not only takes out with a single shot, but also slips away from a massive police lockdown and heads back to Spain. But when he logs onto the underground hitman dark web, he's pissed. The client refused to cough up the $3.75 million final payment and even dissed him. The hitman's boiling mad, dead set on finding this ungrateful punk and making him pay, big time. He hits up the bank to dig into the prepayment sender's info, but they say the payer's overseas and untraceable. So he's forced to jet back to Germany to hunt down the client. He'd just gotten home for a day, now he's saying goodbye again. His wife sees him off at the airport, all sad. But as soon as he steps out of the car, he flags a cab, yanks off his wedding ring to hide he's married, and heads to his private stash. He flips through fake passports and cash from around the world, grabs the German one, and rolls out. But guess what? As he's catching another cab to the airport, his wife spots him by chance. A bad vibe hits her. She calls his phone. It's off. Now she's thinking, is he cheating? She heads home to vent to her bro, who vows to set things straight. Meanwhile, Matt's touched down in Germany and is driving to the bank when his phone rings. It's a new client who drops $1 million into his account up front to show she's legit. When she says the target is tech mogul Musk, Matt hesitates. Taking out someone that big, gotta up the ante. They try to meet at a restaurant, but Matt leaves a note instead. Standard move to shake tails. He redirects to a park, disguises himself as a bald dude, and sidles up to the woman. After checking no one's tailing them, they hash out the price. She offers $50 million, but Matt shoots back $100 million. He wants to hang up his gloves after this score. Even though his ask is steep, she's backed by a top-tier consortium. Musk is dropping a new software called HE on the 28th, she says. It'll make all billionaires' assets transparent. Often before then. And the $100 mill is yours. Matt's not big on being rushed, but he bites the bullet and takes the gig. She wires $20 million up front.
And we'll need a code name for you.
You need a code name too.
Why not the Jackal?
Why not?
Why not, he shrugs. Now flush with cash, he still needs to settle the score. At the bank, the manager tells him the $3.75 million came from a corporate account, Matt's on his own to dig deeper. Online sleuthing shows the company's a subsidiary of Touring, registered in the Netherlands. Touring's a subsidiary of Du Bois in France, which is part of another UK-registered firm. It's like peeling a Russian nesting doll, but with his global accounts. Matt traces it back to a German domestic company, Optipan. Scouring the company's homepage, he finds annual party pics. After endless scrolling, he spots the jerk who told him to get lost. Game on. Now the real show begins.
The driver was about to get in his car when a top-tier hitman confronted him, pressing a silenced gun to his back and forcing him into the trunk. No sooner had he lied down than the hitman pulled the trigger. No need to bother hauling a body later. He then took the wheel of the luxury car, disguised as the driver, and merged into the traffic heading for the president's funeral. After the service, the president's son climbed into the car, none the wiser, as the hitman tagged along with the motorcade, biding his time. He kept pestering the son with small talk, annoying him to the point where he snapped, "You trying to get fired?" The hitman just smiled, then shot the bodyguard point blank, hit the gas, and peeled off in a convoy in a sharp drift. The president's son nearly wet himself, fumbling for his phone to call for help. To stop him, the hitman swerved wildly, making him dizzy, then rammed the car to knock the phone from his hand. But the move sent them careening. They hit a pedestrian and nearly flipped. He tried to reverse, but a car backing up blocked his path, and were already closing in. A top bodyguard blew out one of his tires with a single shot. Desperate, he gunned it onto the sidewalk, timed a crash into a support beam, and blocked the pursuers. Once clear near a church, he stopped. That's when the president's son realized, this was the Jackal, the elite hitman he'd hired to kill his own father, the president. He'd stiffed the Jackal on the even, sent him insulting messages, confident his security would protect him. Now, with a gun to his head, he begged to pay up. But this was never about money anymore. "No one's ever told the Jackal, fuck you, and lived," he said. "You'll be the first, and last." Fuck. He fired, then repeated the curse back at him, clean and quick. He stripped off the driver's disguise, grabbed fresh clothes from the trunk, planted another timed bomb, and slipped into a pre-scouted church. He locked the door behind him. By the time bodyguards breached the barriers, the car exploded, and the Jackal vanished without a trace. Vengeance served, he returned to his hotel to delete evidence, only to get a call from his wife. She never called during his business trips, but now she suspected he was cheating. She'd seen him in a taxi after dropping him at the airport. Clearly, he was hiding something. Panicked, he couldn't exactly admit he'd assassinated a president and his son. He claimed she must have mistaken someone else for him, then FaceTimed her to prove no other woman was in his hotel room. She checked every inch, found nothing, but insisted on visiting him in Amsterdam. He shot that down, busy as always, and they hung up on a sour note. Convinced he was hiding something, she ransacked his office and found blueprints for their villa, with a hidden space behind his office mirror. Her brother pushed it, revealing a concealed door with a high-tech lock. He drilled it open. Inside, passports from around the world, cash, weapons, and disguise molds. She finally knew. Her husband wasn't a businessman. He was the Jackal. Meanwhile, Matt's phone alerted him to a break-in at his armory. Checking the feed, he saw his wife and brother-in-law. He was screwed. Part 4. The Jackal, in his BMW, rear-ends a truck by accident. He gets out, no apology, offering the driver 20 grand to shoo him away. But the driver, ticked off by the attitude, refuses to settle no matter what. He insists on flagging down a passing patrol car, determined to make this stick. Little does he know, this guy's a top-tier hitman. The cop barely cracks open the trunk and spots the guy's weapon when, bam, the hitman drops him with a shot. He chucks the weapon to the driver, swipes the cop's gun, and puts a bullet in him too. A smooth move, framing it as a shootout between the driver and the cop, like he was never even there. The hitman's in such a rush because he's got 5 days to take out world's richest man, Musk. Every second counts. Musk is set to host a conference in Tallinn, so the Jackal scouts the venue early, hunting for a vantage point. He intentionally shoves a metal wallet in his pocket to set off the alarm, striking up a conversation with the security guy, making sure he's memorable. Then, using the chaos of the electronic music festival as cover, he studies the venue's layout. He notices a gap in the overhead beams, part of the stage lighting setup, and without hesitation, sneaks his way up. A couple of crew members have just finished fixing some equipment. Once they're gone, he whips out lockpicks, pops the secured cover, and slips into the stage prop. The blades are spaced just right, find the sweet spot, and he could take out someone on stage with a single shot. He pulls out his phone to measure the distance, but out of nowhere, a stagehand fires up the rig, and the blades start spinning. In a panic, Matt clings for dear life to a wire, only to have it Lucky for him, the noise is deafening, no one notices. Matt scrambles back onto the blades faster than lightning, barely escaping with his life. Afterward, he tracks down that crew member, asking for help finding his lost phone. Silver lining, their chat gets them chummier, and Matt scores his personal number, perfect for a future disguise. With the location and a potential identity sorted, next up, the weapon. Metal can't get through security, so his sniper rifle needs to be plastic, small enough to smuggle in. A woman with a hurt foot nearby gives him an idea. A weaponsmith 3D prints a plastic sniper rifle based on his idea. When disassembled, the parts fit together into a shoe. Wrap it in bandages, and he'll pass as a foot injury victim, tricking security to get inside. To test its power, Matt grabs a watermelon from a fruit stand, draws a face on it, and hangs it from a tree. He steps back to the distance from the roof to the stage, secures the rifle to another tree with a rope, takes aim, and fires. Hits the target, but not quite a kill shot. Matt tweaks the sight slightly. The next shot blows the watermelon's head clean off. He swaps in live ammo and finishes off the poor melon. All set, Matt's about to embark on this high-stakes mission. Part 5. The top hitman jolted as he spotted a strange car lingering near his secret hideout. A bad feeling prickling, he swerved to pass them, scoping them out, and sure enough, the guys inside didn't look like locals. Matt pulled over, skipping home. Instead, he plopped down at a cafe by his place, sipping a drink while keeping tabs on the car. Sure enough, it looped back after a bit. The men inside started gearing up, prepping weapons. At a signal from one of them, all the power in the area cut out. Matt knew then, these were SWAT, here to take him down. He scrambled to call his buddy, but the guy, who'd pulled an all-nighter building Matt's gear, was dead asleep. It took 3 minutes of ringing to rouse him. Panic setting in, the weaponsmith grabbed his pistol, bolted to the basement, and hit his computer's one-click wipe program to erase all evidence. But with a busted hand, he couldn't handle the hundreds of submachine guns in the armory, just his crummy old pistol. Its firepower was nothing against SWAT. They closed in, step by step. A sharp female agent shot at the ceiling, using the debris to blind him, then charged in, slapping cuffs on him.
Hello, Norman.
Right? She'd tracked him. He'd built the Jackal's weapon, the one used to take out the president. Your only shot at living is telling me who the Jackal really is, and where he is now. But the guy clamped up, claiming total ignorance. The computer files were gone, deny everything, and he was golden. Or so he thought. The agent scanned the room, 2 servings of food on the table, proof someone else had been there. Checking a backpack on the couch, she recognized the clothes from surveillance. That someone? The Jackal. And with his bag left here, he'd be back to fetch it soon. The weaponsmith's blood ran cold. This woman was sharp. She stepped closer, voice low. I've got 1,000 ways to make you talk. You'll crack. He shot up, enraged, only to take a bullet to the head, courtesy of the Jackal, watching from afar. No loyalty, no hesitation, anything to bury his secrets. The agent ducked for cover, barking orders to hunt Matt down. He was spotted fast, trapped between enemies, until he spun, hopped on a nearby white horse, and bolted.
Horse.
Cops scrambled into cars, giving chase. To lose them, Matt darted into the woods, using trees to block the vehicles. But riding a horse there was a nightmare. He took a tumble. The agent saw the horse bolt alone, figuring Matt was stranded. Then her teammate dropped, taken out by Matt's last stand. She circled, firing. He knew he was made, booking it through the trees. A cat-and-mouse chase erupted. Her bullets whizzed by, inches from target. Up ahead, a cliff, Matt leaped, plunging into the water below. She emptied her magazine into the waves, but no body surfaced. Furious at the failure, she screamed, "Damn it." Matt stayed submerged until he reached safer waters, exhausted. Crawling ashore, he snuck into a farmhouse barn, stashing his gear to rest. But mid-sleep, a shotgun pressed to his forehead. Even top hitmen go soft when drained. He was clobbered unconscious by a burly farmer. When he woke, he found himself strung up in midair, labeled a thief. Part 6. The top hitman woke up to find himself strung up in midair. Turns out, the farmer had mistaken him for a thief and planned to teach him a lesson. Problem was, they couldn't understand each other. The hitman tried offering money to smooth things over, but the farmer didn't get it. He just hauled Matt toward the house to deal with him. Along the way, he found Matt's hidden sniper rifle. That high-tech gear had to be worth a pretty penny, he figured. Once inside, the farmer called his cousin. there was a kid on their farm who spoke English, perfect to translate. Matt lit up at the familiar language, quickly explaining he had stacks of cash in his account, enough to clear up this misunderstanding. The farmer nearly laughed out loud. Looks like he'd caught a cash cow. Little did he know, he'd crossed a stone-cold killer. The cousin, with his crew, hurried to the farm. But weirdly, the road was lined with cops, who asked if they'd seen a suspicious foreigner, someone wanted by the law. The two exchanged a look. Must be the guy the farmer caught. The cousin lied, saying they hadn't seen anyone, and once they were past, grins spread across their faces. A wanted man, he'd probably have plenty of cash. The farmer, munching on bread, offered some to Matt, who looked at it like it was garbage. That ticked the farmer off. How dare he scoff at his bread? He shoveled it at Matt's mouth. And that's when, bam, a top hitman never misses a chance to turn the tables. He reclaimed his weapon, grabbed the farmer's shotgun, and strolled past the body. He thought he was in the clear, but just as he was leaving, the farmer's cousin showed up. Matt ducked out of sight, watching them through the rearview mirror as they went inside. He hopped in their car, but the clunker wouldn't start. A roar from the house, out burst the cousin, firing a shot at Matt, then blowing out the windows. Matt tried to peel away, but crashed into a tree. Done for. The guy closed in, opened the door, only to find Matt had slipped into the back seat. He raised his gun, but Matt was already under the car, taking him out clean. The greedy farmer and his cousin both bit the dust. The kid translator dropped his gun, surrendering. This guy was clearly no ordinary thief. Matt, needing a driver, held the kid at gunpoint, making him lead the way into town. True to form, Matt would have offed the driver once they arrived, but then he saw the kid's phone, photos of his wife and daughter. It hit too close to home. Matt's whole reason for being a hitman was to give his own family a better life. Destroying someone else's, it felt wrong. For the first time, he held back, opting for a threat instead. I know where you live. Squeal, and my crew'll kill your wife and kid right in front of you. Terrified, the kid swore to stay quiet. By the time Matt calmed down, he'd vanished without a trace. He called his wife, he'd lost his gear, and needed her help. Cautious, he left an email address, then gave his phone to a random pedestrian. When he got her email, he sent a hotel link for their meetup. Using these counter-surveillance tactics, she made it to the hotel with what he needed, a latex mask. A master of disguise, Matt transformed himself into an old man. His injured left foot, wrapped in bandages, hid the disassembled sniper rifle. With his wife's cover, they breezed through security. They split up. She headed back to Spain. Matt pressed on to Tallinn for the hit on Musk. He finally boarded the plane, but it sat on the tarmac, not moving. When he asked, he was told some police officers had been called in to take the flight. Matt looked up. There, walking on, were the female agent and her team. Good news, she didn't recognize his disguise. Bad news, they weren't heading back to the UK, they were going to Tallinn. His target might be blown. This hit just got a whole lot riskier. Part 7. The top hitman snuck into the venue 3 days early, all to hide in the ceiling, waiting it out until his target, Musk, arrived. After clearing security, he paid cash for bottles of water and snacks, stashing them as supplies for the next 3 days. Halfway through the concert, he faked a bathroom run to slip away, then quietly made his way to the ceiling. He popped open the access panel and climbed in without hesitation. Following his pre-planned route, he crawled to a spot with a view of the stage, keeping tabs on when the target might show. Then he lay down, pulled off his shoe, and reassembled it into a sniper rifle, all plastic, so it'd sailed through security. Now, all he had to do was sleep, conserving energy, until Musk arrived. Even though Musk's security detail had upped their game, with scanners that could check inside bodies, they never dreamed the hitman was already holed up in the venue. To be safe, they sent in K-9 units and dozens of cops to comb every corner. Matt popped a chocolate bar to mask his scent. The cops even checked the ceiling, but Matt had outsmarted them. He was hidden in a crawl space within the ceiling, impossible to spot. Finally, the day of the speech arrived. Celebs and bigwigs filed in. Musk was set to unveil his company's latest product, software that would make every billionaire's assets transparent, funneling money to regular people instead of just lining rich pockets. As the host readied to introduce Musk, Matt started crawling toward the crawl space exit, only to hear footsteps above. Turns out, they'd posted a guard on the ceiling too. Matt waited until the footsteps faded, then slid open the access panel, set it gently aside, and climbed out. He used the venue's thundering speakers to muffle his steps, silently taking down the patrolling guard, then moving to the lighting tech, slitting his throat clean. As the stage rose, Musk stepped out. Matt had claimed the perfect shooting spot, but he hadn't counted on 50-centimeter thick bulletproof glass lining the stage. His prime sniping spot was useless. The silver lining? Musk couldn't stay still, gesturing wildly as he ranted, fired up. He finally got his chance, but suddenly, another hitman, who'd snuck onto the stage, was gunned down instantly. The chaos blew Matt's only shot. With the opportunity lost, he didn't hesitate, time to bail. With his unremarkable looks, he just blended into the panicking crowd, pulled on a baseball cap, and slipped out. The other hitman was dead. No one suspected him. But he'd barely made it a few steps when someone called out. One of the venue crew he'd befriended to learn the layout. Now that the job was botched, the guy was useless. Cold as ever, Matt took him out, no remorse, and walked away. Blowing this chance, he'd just try again. But he had no idea, after all their chasing, the cops had used AI to sketch a rough portrait of him.
A man simply wanted to show off his new yacht to a friend, but he didn't expect that friend to slit his throat a few seconds later. It turned out that this friend was a killer. Viewing the yacht was just an excuse. His real goal was to get close to Elon Musk, who was hiding on a nearby island. As the yacht rocked in the waves, Matt first secured the sniper rifle to the stabilizer, then aimed at the small island. He fired a test shot, hitting a rock. Using the recoil, he calculated the drift caused by the waves, and adjusted the scope. Musk was completely unaware, preparing for his morning swim, with bodyguards by his side. Matt immediately locked onto his target, until a passing boat created a massive wave that violently collided with his yacht, causing the rifle to shake. He missed the perfect shooting opportunity. When the security chief scanned the water surface, he noticed Matt's yacht anchored 4 miles away, and immediately dispatched a speedboat to investigate. Matt spotted them approaching, quickly turned the rifle, and killed the guard before they could identify him. Then he immediately refocused on Musk. But a drone suddenly hovered overhead. Matt pulled out a signal jammer and shot it down in midair. But it was too late. The drone had already transmitted the footage. The security chief sounded the alarm. Everyone went into high alert. Musk's bodyguards submerged him in the water to hide him. But Matt reacted swiftly, accurately judging how long Musk could hold his breath. He counted down in his mind, and fired the moment the billionaire surfaced. But the bullet hit the bodyguard instead. Taking advantage of the reloading pause, Musk gasped for air, and dove back into the water, swimming toward the shore. Underwater, his bubbles gave away his location. Matt tracked his route, calculated his oxygen limit, and fired in advance. "It's time to surface," he whispered. The $100 million assassination mission was complete. He discovered that checkpoints had been added to the pre-planned intersections. He pretended to be a lost foreign tourist, and spoke broken Spanish. But the police quickly noticed his flaws. Matt stepped on the gas and broke through the checkpoint. On the narrow city streets, he couldn't shake them. So he turned into an alley to narrow the pursuit. A police car crashed, but the motorcycle followed closely behind. Matt used the rugged stairs and sudden turns to shake them off, causing one motorcycle rider to slip back on the main road. The police laid out spike strips. Matt jerked the steering wheel, causing the pursuing patrol car to hit the spike strip, and then quickly drove away. He had shaken them off. Relaxing for a moment, he saw a child running into the road after a ball. To avoid him, Matt's car careened down the hill. He lost consciousness. When he woke up a few minutes later, a truck driver was rushing to help. "I've already called the police," the driver said. Matt pulled out his gun. After the driver dragged him out of the car, Matt grabbed the rifle and luggage, took the truck keys, and drove away. The truck was unsafe. He parked it in a secluded area, bandaged his wounds, and put on a professor-like disguise. Before leaving, he poured gasoline on the truck, lit it, and pushed it off the cliff. In the forest, he found an elderly couple camping. He lied, saying his old condition had flared up again, and he needed a ride to the hospital, no more than 15 minutes. The husband was suspicious, but the wife persuaded him. Half an hour later, they still hadn't reached the hospital, and the couple became suspicious. Matt pulled out his gun and drove 70 miles to the border. "Take me out, and you'll live." At the border, it was already dark. The checkpoint was crowded, and there were police dogs. They would smell the yacht scent on him. He told the husband to take a detour and wait in the forest until the heat died down. There was enough food in the RV for them to survive. The husband nervously asked for a cigarette. Matt accompanied him outside, and let him light it. "Are you going to kill us?" he asked. Matt paused. "No. The two of you remind me of my parents." The husband relaxed. Back in the RV, Matt let his guard down. Then, a gunshot rang out. The husband fell. Matt sighed. He stayed in the RV for a week. Before leaving, he wrapped the bomb in aluminum foil, stuffed it into the microwave, turned on the gas, and left. All evidence was destroyed. He then boarded a tourist bus, blended into the crowd, and crossed the border smoothly. Secured the $10 million retirement plan? Perfect execution. But, he underestimated the shrewd black woman he had dealt with earlier. She had already uncovered his identity, and was lurking near his mansion.
Part 10. The elite hitman had just gotten home when his employer
coming
called.
for you.
Your cover's blown, the guy says. Get out of the house, now. Jumpsy, he tosses the phone aside. Matt knows something seriously wrong. He bolts to his secret room, only to find most of the money's gone. No doubt about it, his wife took it and split. Matt grabs the remaining fake IDs, passports, and cash, ready to run. But by then, the female agent and her team are closing in on the house. Matt's drunk brother-in-law hears a commotion outside, stumbles over to flip on the lights, wasted, and runs straight into the agent. Shots ring out, the brother-in-law drops. The gunfire alerts Matt, who cuts the power without hesitation, then hides in the hidden room. Using the backup power inside, he watches everything unfold outside. The agent moves cautiously through the dark, spots a photo of Matt on the nightstand. She finally gets a look at the elite hitman's face, and silently swears she won't let him slip away this time. She reaches the study, Matt spots her. She searches but finds nothing. Little does she know, he's hiding right behind the mirror in front of her. In the play of light and shadow, the contrast of black and red hints at the life or death showdown to come. Eventually, the agent moves on, finding nothing amiss. If Matt won't show himself, she'll flush him out. She triggers the alarm. Matt has no choice but to leave the hidden room, weapon in hand, ready to fight. A red targeting reticle locks onto the agent's head. Her teammate dives in to save her, taking the bullet instead, dropping dead. Gunfire erupts. Matt falls back, vanishing into the darkness. This is his house, after all. He knows every inch, giving him a huge edge. The agent just wants answers. Who is the Jackal working for? Who's pulling the strings? But Matt's in it for himself, plain and simple. His reply gives away his position, or so she thinks. He's already circled around behind her via a secret passage.
It doesn't need to end this way.
It does.
It's over. The agent crumples to the ground. Matt wins the fated duel. He flees in his car, planning to call his employer, demand the $100 million, and disappear for good. But halfway there, a truck swerves into him, slamming his car off the road. The employer never intended to hire a hitman to take out Matt, and no one will ever trace it back to him. Months pass. A handsome man strolls down the street, stopping in front of the woman who'd originally hired him. She's stunned. How is Matt alive? Turns out, she's just a pawn. The employer screwed her over too. Without hesitation, she spills the employer's identity. Matt gets it. This is the man who ruined his family, destroyed his life. He has to die. Matt stands, setting off on his revenge. And that's a wrap on Season 1 of The Day of the Jackal. Hit that follow button. I'll keep sharing more great flicks with you guys. Season 2 drops in 2025.
My name is Alexander Duggan. Used to be one of the best snipers in the United Kingdom Special Forces. The aim this time was to assassinate a politician who was running for Prime Minister. But such people are usually surrounded by very tight security, and I have to complete the task in an almost impossible situation. So I decided to take my chances with his son, and I managed to sneak into the building disguised as a janitor. After confirming the location of the target, I began to assemble the weapon. I hurt him on purpose, so the public would think that his son was assassinated because of his anti-immigrant stance. As an influential political figure, he had to go back to the hospital to see his son, and this is my only chance. After confirming my success, I quickly disarmed the weapon. Placed the time bomb under the bed. Fire alarms sounded in the hallways, creating chaos to cover my exit. To make sure I could get out safely, I disguised myself as a collector and bought an antique chess set, so that when I crossed the border and get stopped by the police, I could successfully use this chess piece to distract the police.
What's in the box?
So this is why I was in Nuremberg. This is a Jake set. The ivory is all pre-banned. It's incredibly rare, so I collect these things.
You can go.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening. when I successfully threw the checkpoint, the next day after arriving in Paris, France. But still haven't received the final payment of assassination. So I went to a nearby internet cafe and went on the dark web to ask for the balance. My name is Alexander Duggan. Used to be one of the best snipers in the United Kingdom Special Forces. The next day after arriving in Paris, France. But still haven't received the final payment of assassination. So I went to a nearby internet cafe and went on the dark web to ask for the balance. But after a few hours or not received the final payment, I asked the specific time. Just then I suddenly received a new message. But the man on the other side told me to meet in person. Just when I thought the odds weren't good. In the face of the high reward, they finally chose to break their own principles. When I wait until the evening, the opposite will call the margin over. So I drove first to the meeting place. Then I saw a man coming up. So I quietly behind her until she went to the agreed position.
Don't turn around. Did you come alone?
Yes, I followed your instructions to the letter.
Who's the target?
Dag Charles.
When I heard the name, I raised the original $10 million to $100 million. Because this man is the most high-profile public figure in the world today. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of risk.
That's a very expensive conversation.
Half on commission, half on completion, all reasonable expenses paid.
Well, I'd have to consult my colleagues about that.
Then I left and went to a place of my own. I hid my weapon and dressed as I was instructed. I cherish what I have now very much. My wife and my children. As it has been 24 hours, and I have not received the final payment. I pressed the client. But what I didn't expect was